Hey everyone, welcome to Chuck Talks. This is a live show on Facebook, obviously. And what's so cool about it is we really want you to interact with us and ask questions and tell us where you're from. Tonight we have a special guest, Chef Lyle Broussard, who is going to tell us what he's cooking up in his kitchen tonight. And so before we get started with introducing Chef Lyle, I wanted to introduce our co-host for the evening, Catherine Shea Duncan. And she is a former rice queen. And so she's going to give us her queen wave so we can practice. Yes, we all want to be like Catherine. So, Catherine, are you excited?
Yes, I'm so excited. I love Chef Lyle so much, and of course, y'all too. So,
well, Chef Lyle, I love him this much, and then y'all that much.
You have to say that to me, otherwise I'll just take you off camera.
Well, and Catherine likes to cook, and she's all sugar spice and everything nice, and she has definitely fattened me up since she started at Visit Lake Charles. And then, of course, we have Amos Orr, who is our producer extraordinaire.
Too kind.
Yeah, so without further ado, Chef Lyle Broussard is joining us from his kitchen. Hey, Chef Lyle.
How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great. And before we get started with the cooking part, Catherine's going to tell everybody a little bit about you because you are a really cool guy and an amazing chef. And we just want to let everybody know just a little bit about who you are and kind of what you've done over your career.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chef Lyle Broussard is the chef de cuisine at Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill, which is located inside Le Berge Casino Resort in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Chef Lyle has been working at Le Berge since 2005. And throughout his time as a chef in Southwest Louisiana, he has been able to travel all over the United States, from Birmingham to New York to Texas, all across the United States as an ambassador for Southwest Louisiana's cuisine and culture. He, of course, during that time has racked up numerous accolades and achievements, and we are very fortunate to have Chef Lyle as a culinary champion in Southwest Louisiana.
Yes, we are. So he's been with Le Berge since the beginning. And so, Chef Lyle, tell us about what you're going to be cooking tonight and why you chose that dish.
Because it's a simple at-home dish, like less than.
I like simple.
Yeah, it's simple. Smothered tasso and shrimp. So, like I said, normally you could do it over potatoes. I was in a bit of a rush today, so I'm just going to do it over French bread. It kind of go good over everything, Smothered shrimp and tasso. It's just pretty good, man. I mean, it kind of combined the best of everything. You got the tasso and you got fresh Gulf shrimp, so a little bit of spice, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, and we have some delicious seafood right here in Southwest Louisiana. So when you say Gulf shrimp, that means right at the doorstep of Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana. So, so do you prefer cooking with locally sourced seafood?
Yeah, I do, because I mean, you don't have to wonder like what it's been or how it's been handled, So the guy who's getting it fresh off the boat. So
yeah.
Guarantee you the fresh product also.
I just want to jump in. So like you actually have shrimpers that are friends that you just go up to, whatever you want, shrimp.
So there's a guy for everything. So I know I've been in the restaurant business for so long, a lot of the local vendors, when you're not at work, like, hey, I'll tell you the guy I get them from is a local guy, and usually it's like a couple of miles down the road. So,
Well, if you're a chef doing your thing, you got to have a guy. You got to have those sources. So, why don't you show us the lay of the land of the kitchen? So, if people want to cook this dish, what do they need to have, and kind of just like show everybody what you have, and just to say again, if you have questions, if you just want to say, hey, I'm from watching from California or whatever, just pop it in the live comments. We can see that. And so we want to definitely interact with you. That's what's so fun about it being a live show. So, okay, Chef Lyle, show us the lay of the land.
So let's start with the pot first. So I had a choice of cast iron or a stainless steel skillet. So I got professional on both, but this just come out way better than this. This skillet is actually way older than me. So I inherited this one. So still looking good.
Well, who'd you inherit that from?
I got this from people who got it from my grandfather, who I don't know where they got it from. So
Very old.
That's cool. And I know we're gonna ask you about cast iron a little bit later in the show. So what else do you have? What's the first step that people would need to do to be able to prepare this dish?
I mean, we got first. I don't know how hot this thing is smoking. So first thing, we got Tasso. This is about a cup, because I have 2 nephews in my house today, and they're gonna eat all of this. The recipe is smaller, but Tasso. I mean, everybody down here know what Tasso is. Well,
yes, and if you don't, we have a definition on the screen.
I had to put that definition there just for myself. So.
Nerd alert from Amos Orr. Okay.
Blazing.
Oh, that looks good.
I put like a teaspoon of olive oil on this because it was pre-oiled already. So we're just gonna let this just go.
Hey, Stephanie Miller's watching. Hey.
Stephanie. Man, you can smell this.
I feel like I can smell it from here.
I can. So
Chef Lyle, do you season your Tasso at all? You just put it straight in the cast iron?
Unless, like, if I had time to make it myself, I would season it the way I wanted to season it. I didn't make this one. I bought this one. And just smell it. Just let it go. Even though this is cooking slow, this is still gonna be a pretty quick dish. So.
That almost sounds like the rain. It's very soothing. And true confession to everybody, I can't cook very much, so my go-to is a toaster or a microwave. But I know Catherine is a cook, and she has some questions about, like, if you want to be like Chef Lyle, what do you need in your kitchen? So go ahead, Catherine. What you got?
So, okay. Is cast iron your go-to for every dish or for certain dishes?
Certain dishes. Like I said, I own a lot of stainless steel too. But some of the stuff in my kitchen you might not have in your kitchen. I have a grinder, I have a cryovac machine, I got a sous vide machine. But cast iron is definitely a must. Have at least one stainless steel pan. That's a must. In case just in case, you never know when you might need it. Like if I want to if I was gonna sear like a good white fish or something, I would use but if I want all the flavor stick to the bottom and like just for one dish meals a lot, I use cast iron. I mean, once it heat up, hold the heat, and this thing here got years and years of flavor. Just go.
Yeah.
You can't buy that in the store.
Yeah, and cleaning cast iron is kind of an art form in and of itself too, because you don't want to scrub or put soap on it and all of that. So, how you take care of your cast iron is really important too, right?
Not enough, like this stuff, not even sticking. See, when we're done, we're gonna wipe it out, and then we're gonna to clean it. We're gonna scrub it with a little oil and kosher salt. I'm gonna put some oil and kosher salt in. I'm gonna heat it up, and I'm gonna scrub it down with that. And I'm gonna wipe it out and re-oil it again. And like we had discussion before, it's probably gonna go back in the oven.
Yeah, for safekeeping.
So Lyle, I'm sorry, I'm not again a cook or anything like that. I'm not even gonna pretend to be. But so you say that it has flavor. Like what do you mean a cast iron has flavor or seasoning? I hear that all the time. So what does that mean for all the layman's like me?
I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but as I'm cooking the pork in this, I'm cooking this pork. You could see it's gonna leave specks, and it's just years and years of flavor, like over time. It's kind of keep using it over and over and over and over. It's gonna build flavor, and it just layers and layers. So
Yeah, my grandmother.
That's one of his secrets. I'm sorry, Catherine, go ahead.
I was just going to say my grandmother just recently passed down her cast iron to me. And that was like a very special moment for me because I am not the only grandchild. So I felt very honored to receive her cast iron, which is, you know, a very sacred tradition here in Louisiana.
Yeah, I would definitely get the very last piece of cast iron from anyone. They'd be like, oh, yeah, Angie, just because she just needs to feel part of the family. Okay, let me tell you, that shrimp looks like just ginormous. I don't know what's going on with those shrimp. So you do need to know a guy, I'm thinking.
16.
Those are amazing.
So I dropped about a pound of these in, and I'm seasoning them now with blackening seasoning. I'm gonna let those just brown a little bit, and I'm adding like a tablespoon of garlic. And we're gonna kind of let these guys just kind of roll along a little bit.
So is that, did you say garlic butter?
Garlic, minced garlic.
Oh, okay.
And I don't see, like, if you just like caught the whiff of this whenever I added the garlic and shrimp, it just added a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
Blackening seasoning. So, and what I mean by flavor, I don't know if you see how this is starting to stick to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right as that starts, I'm gonna deglaze this with a little bit of white wine, just to get some of that off the bottom. And that's gonna be. This is what we're really after. See how this up, nothing stuck on the bottom again.
Does it matter what kind of white wine?
A dry white. I wouldn't use nothing sweet. You could use something actually kind of cheap. I'm not a real wine drinker, so whatever one I found, that's what I bought. It's all the way yet. So they still kind of going as the wine reducing because we don't want to really overcook them.
Mm-hmm.
And as this reduces a little bit, I don't know if you see the bubbles in here. That's because it's going to reduce down with the shrimp. We're going to add a little bit of about a couple ounces of. That's actually a quarter cup of heavy cream. We're going to let that build. And I don't know. I do a lot of cooking with fresh herbs, so I like the taste of fresh herbs. So this is actually parsley, flat Italian parsley, chives, and rosemary. And as you see, this is going to come back up real quick.
I wish we had smell-o-vision. I really want to smell that so badly.
My mouth is just watering as I'm like, really?
Too bad we're remote. I wish like we were at his house right now. We'd be like, oh yeah, everybody be jealous or eating this.
One more thing. So I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in real quick. So Chef Lyle, you've been cooking a lot at home lately, but I'm so glad that you get to start coming back. Friday, is it?
Yes. No.
Monday.
Monday. You get to come back. Well, you're going to make me wait all weekend. All right.
You're just going to have to drool all weekend long. So Chef Lyle, I guess how long have you been cooking? How long have you always known that you wanted to be a chef, like since you were a little kid? Or what was it that made you?
I started off on a different career path.
What were you doing?
So when I graduated high school, I went to college for P-Tech. And and my mom paid for it all. And I was like, man, I'm not really feeling this at all. This is just not me. And so I dropped out. I mean, and then, I mean, some kind of way, I think I ended up in a restaurant washing dishes. Then true story, I saw a chef walk by, like, that's the job I want to do.
Wow.
Started, I kind of naturally took to it, and I just kind of moved real fast. And it was like, it got to a point where it's like, hey, what you gonna do? You're either gonna spin your wheels and just be a cook forever. I mean, nothing's wrong with it. Some people can cook, and that's just their thing. But it's about what I want to do. And like, am I gonna be a chef? And like, I want to be pretty good at what I do. Then I mean, it's the love I do. Like I said, I've been cooking for 40 days. Hey, I've been off. The family has. So check this out. See the middle of this? When you get these small bubbles, We're gonna kill it. And this is about a quarter cup of, this is whole butter. We're just gonna, just for the richness, we're just gonna let it stir in.
Ooh, that looks sinful. Once on the lips, forever on the hips. You know what they say.
For my family the other night, and we actually threw the potatoes into the dish, which made it thick and it was good. I mean, I've served this in Atlanta with Catherine last year over smoked cheddar bread pudding. So,
Y'all, that dish is incredible. I've had it so many times, and I promise you, the second I can get it again, I will. It is incredible.
so cheddar bread, that's a little advanced, but maybe somebody reach out. It's like a 3-hour recipe. So, it's just one of those, you have time to do it, you got it. So after we stir it all in, we cut it off. It is done. So only thing we're gonna do differently is normally, like I said, we serve this over potatoes, rice. I just made some simple French bread today. French bread simple French bread, garlic with garlic. So we pile those in, and normally, like last Sunday, we did a big giant plate, and everybody just kind of sat around and ate it. But I'm gonna scoop some of this out.
So, what would you say is your specialty as a chef? Like, what do you think that you do so well that it's just sort of like your calling card?
That's a hard one.
It's everything.
No, some things I'm not a baker. I mean, I will burn your biscuits, but come down to proteins and putting it together, meats, and I don't know. I'm kind of good at a lot. I'm kind of all around, but I get that question a whole lot. And I don't know. I haven't found that one yet. I mean, I did good. I mean, I love cooking seafood. I love smoking meats. Just all kinds of stuff. But look, we're gonna chunk these guys right here.
Oh yeah, presentation. That's what it's about right there. A little French bread.
I mean, and then what I'm not good at, I'm always willing to kind of learn. So
yeah,
I've been cooking every day since I was off. So
it's a labor of love, you could say.
A little bit more of this. I love cooking seafood though. That's my thing. Because seafood is so delicate. There's not too many. You got to be creative with it. Because there's not too many things you could actually do with it before you overcook it or you overpower the actual flavor of it. So.
Oh my goodness, that looks so good.
Well, so you were talking about herbs earlier and the different ones that you use for this dish. So as far as like seasonings go, I know Catherine and I were talking in my office a little bit earlier today, and since she is a cook, she has some questions about the seasonings that you use. So like a lot of people here are like, you know, they use Tony Chachere's or things like that, or Slap Your Mama. That's another one. But do you find yourself reaching for that or other things?
I think, honestly, I think it depends on what you're cooking. Like this particular dish called, the flavor profile is blackening seasoning, right? So I'm going to use that and some fresh herbs. If I'm going to do something that needs to be kind of salty and spicy, I'll probably use a little Tony's or Slap Your Mama. If I'm cooking meat, like beef, I'm kosher salt and black pepper. If I'm doing fish, I'm probably going to use salt and black pepper. I mean, if I'm doing etouffee, I'm probably going to use Tony's or Slap Your Mama or jambalaya. Just, I think the appropriate seasoning needs to be based on who's cooking and what the goal you're trying to achieve, you know? I mean, because I assume that somebody else, right? So, I mean, so in such a sense, everybody's pretty much chef. So,
Well, and depending on who you're cooking for, if it's like locals from Louisiana versus people from outside of the area, you know, they may have a different idea of what spicy is or something like that. So, do you find that you sort of adjust the amount of seasoning that you put on based on who you're cooking for, or is it just sort of like standard? You just go for, this is my recipe, this is what I'm going to do.
Well, yeah, and that's what I did. When I've been out of town somewhere, before I cook, I've always had a chance to kind of sample the food of the area, and that'll kind of give me an idea. Like, all right, kill these people. I'll put this in there.
Everybody's gonna be like, I need water. I need a gallon of water.
Tone it down as much, and then let them know we altered this just a little bit, but you actually want the real authentic experience. Come on down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta break them in. Gotta build up their tolerance. So, question: do we have a question, Amos?
We do have a question. All right,
Okay.
from Dean Manning. So,
No relation.
No relation at all. What is the most difficult sauce to prepare, in your opinion?
Man, white sauces are hard because I don't know. White sauces, anything with a bechamel in it. I mean, bechamel is a mother sauce. Most white sauces are made from that, and they're easy to burn. If you're doing it in the wrong skillet, doing it in aluminum skillet, they'll be gray. Stuff like lemon butters, any kind of white sauces are the hardest because any slight thing and they're gone. So when I first started cooking, crazy story. When I first started cooking, I made lemon butter in an aluminum pan, and it was like spaceship. So, I mean, you live and you learn. So cool.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something that I've never tried to do. I've never tried to. Maybe like a marinara sauce that I get out of a can and I pour over spaghetti. So I know that you're looking forward to getting back to La Berge on Monday. So, is there anything special that you're looking forward to? You know, greeting guests and all that stuff when you going back to the new normal, as they say.
Normal. Yeah, man, we're going to be open for regular hours. My staff has been calling me. Like, a lot of my staff has been there with me for a really, really long time. I don't know if anybody knew that. So, and they've been calling me 24/7. Call, say, hey, all right, let's go. So that'll be cool. I mean, place is spotless. I mean, and then, I'm gonna be there all weekend. So actually, what I'm gonna do, I think I'm end up looking at a couple of dishes, and I have time to just make everything that was good like great. So
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about cooking and culinary arts. It's an art form. And so even though you've been off for a while, you've been creative in the kitchen and putting things together. And the people that you've worked with for a long time, it's just, everybody's ready to get back to that canvas and creating those wonderful dishes. And you have quite a bit of freedom to do that where you are, so it's not a typical chain type thing. You're able to kind of add your own flavor to it and create things, which is really, really cool. What is the I guess the dish that you're most proud of that you've been able to kind of bring to La Berge or bring to the public?
So the simplest, I think it's the simplest one. We started redfish on the half shell. I bought in 2 years ago. Simple dish. And this thing is like going like hotcakes. All this whole time I've been out trying to make that dish at home. I couldn't catch a redfish to save my life. Really.
Well, you need to know a guy. You need to know a guy that has redfish.
Tried it. Yeah, I tried. I was like, yeah, we're gonna catch this redfish. We're gonna put some wood on the grill. Yeah, I think simple dish too. Simple but good dish, man. And like I said, I tried for 2 weeks in a row and I say, you know what, I give up on this redfish. It was either too many people, kind of nervous, like, oh no, I need a place, and like, well, I guess it ain't happening. All the redfish I want, so
The redfish just weren't running.
A few more days until you're back and you can cook your redfish.
Tomorrow, I mean, no, Saturday.
So Lyle, when are you going to bring me that plate of food that's sitting there? It looks like it's getting cold and lonely.
It's so lonely. It really is. It has Amos's name all over it.
I have a nephew that has been here, and he is 14 years old. And my cousin is holding his camera, and he's looking over. And
I think he's about to just drop the camera and start digging into that French bread.
But open invitation names whenever.
Oh, you're going to regret that.
I'll make some bread pudding and this dish too.
Okay, well then I'm coming.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
oh. We need to have you on another time for the bread pudding recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, man, it's
so good.
That is actually good, and a lot of people don't understand it. Smoked cheddar bread pudding.
Oh, we have a question from Laura Kading asking if you've created any new dishes in quarantine.
A few. Last night we did soy smothered pork chops for dinner, so we just kind of threw that one together. Yeah.
So one thing, I'm gonna throw this up on the screen real quick. The recipe that you made tonight. Can we show the plate of food one more time, because people love seeing.
Yeah, we need to zoom in on that baby.
Let's zoom in out one more time, and I'm gonna throw up the recipe so people can make it at home themselves, or at least try to do it as good.
Maybe you should put up the recipe, Amos.
Yeah, so actually you can see the smoked bread pudding in this photo. It's to the right.
I actually cut that tasso long ways.
But tonight you cubed it, right? Or you chopped it up a little more fine. Doesn't matter.
Fine, because I want just for speed wise, but that one there we cut long ways. So like I said, you can do this over potatoes. I prefer bread pudding. French bread is good, and nothing wrong with French bread. We just cut it in triangles with a little garlic butter, some herbs. Pop it up, 400 degrees, 2-3 minutes. That's it. So.
Well, for that French bread. Well, Chef Lyle, we surely appreciate you being with us tonight. So you've been our second guest on Chuck Talks. We had Sean Ardwin, who was our guest musician. Now we have our guest chef. And Amos, why don't you let everybody know who's going to be on Tuesday?
Definitely will. So before I do that, though, I want everyone to find the bell, wherever it is, the notification bell. Click that so you can get notified whenever we go live. We want you to follow this, share it. Again, go back and watch Sean's episode, because that was really cool. He played some awesome Zydeco tunes. But our guest next Tuesday, and it's a bit of a different time. Usually we're in the evening, but this one is a bit different. So drum roll, Angie. We're having Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser on the show Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central Time on the Visit Lake Charles Facebook channel on Truck Talks. And so make sure to join us then. He's going to be interviewed by Kyle Edmiston, our CEO. Lots of interesting things, especially as we're going through and reopening during phase 1. And I think they'll be talking about some of that. Angie, do you have any other highlights that you want to briefly mention?
Just tune in that day. You can ask questions. It's going to be a live show, but they're going to really be talking about what it means for the tourism industry and how you can be aware of the different things that are going to be opening across the state. And like you said, Kyle Edmiston's going to be interviewing the Lieutenant Governor. It's really great. And Chef Lyle, do you have any closing thoughts before we sign off for the evening?
That's a good one. Anybody has any questions about how we made this or need any help? I mean, I'm not actually hard to find at all. I respond to emails. None of that. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Thank you, Chef Lyle.
Thank you so much. Well, have a great evening and try to stay dry since it's a little bit wet out there today. But thank you so much for joining us. And we cannot wait to go to Le Berge and have some of your delicious cooking that you prepare, especially for us. All right. Well, we'll see everybody later.
Bye.
Ooh, yummy. Bye.